Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerd for No Reason podcast. I am one of your fantastic hosts, Mark.
And I'm riding shotgun with Mark once again. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Or, hello, Philippines.
Is that where we are?
I don't know how to say hello in Filipino.
There was a lot of things and places we were this week, so.
Yeah. I just want to go ahead and start off this whole shebang-a-bang with, I want to talk about YouTube real quick because we've had a big week on YouTube, comparatively speaking, because we don't really have that big a presence, I guess. Like, we do a couple funny videos here and there or whatever, but since we have started distributing the podcast on YouTube, very much more interaction. Now, I think I can see how long y'all listen to. Y'all ain't listening too long, and that's okay. That's fine. But you know what? We getting them views, baby. We getting them views. We are more than 1,600 views now for just the audio for the podcast, and that is fantastic. We've grown by like 10 subscribers, which is fantastic. Yeah, and a lot of traffic from the Philippines. So, Filipino people, what's happening?
Hello. That's fun.
I'm a sucker for analytic data, so when it's just like, when I can see where everyone's downloading stuff from, I'm just fascinated by it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. What's up, party people? Good to see you. Welcome. I hope you're listening to the show. And I think we got a super special, spectacular show in store for you guys today. So get ready.
Super special and spectacular?
And spectacular.
Ooh. Very nice.
So.
Very nice, very nice. What's going on, man?
Not much. You know, hanging out, man. They've been working me like a dog at work. What was it? Thursday? Was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. I was locked in trying to get so much work done, and so many people came by and was just like, "Hey, Mark, how's it going? Hey, I got a question for you. Hey, I got a question for you." I was just not in the mood. It's been a busy week. I have to tell you a story off mic about something that happened this week that was pretty fantastic. So nice. Do not let me forget that. But, you know, it's been all right. Been normal week, I guess, just a little bit busier. Next week's going to be kind of busy. We got a conference that my office is hosting with a bunch of people from all over the place. So we're going to be, we're going to be busy.
Nice. That sounds, you know, kind of fun.
Yeah.
Not the whole like busy people coming to say, "Yo, what's good? What's up?"
It's kind of like Monday and Tuesday is kind of like a schmoozing event, especially Monday, where I just come in there and I'm just like, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing? Oh my God, you're so cool!" And they're like, "Yes, I know I'm cool." And yeah, and then they come back and go, "Man, that Mark, he really knows what he's doing."
Nice.
So what about you?
You know, it's St. Patrick's Day weekend, so we've been boozing it up. It's been fun. Just another.
You guys been drinking green beer?
Of course, because you know your brother loves some good, fun, green glitter and some drinks. He's been having a ball with that. We got Guinness. We got some Irish cream. My grandparents last year when they went to Ireland brought Chris like 1 or 2 little bottles of Irish whiskey from there, and we hadn't messed with it, and so he was like, "Sweet, we're gonna use it this weekend." And I was like, "All right, cool." So yeah, it's just been kind of a fun little weekend to relax and hang out at home.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Did you catch any of the Academy Awards last week after we got off the show?
I sure did not. I probably went straight to bed after
Really?
we got off. Yeah. How was the award show?
Well, from what I could watch, in clips after the fact, they did do the one thing that I wanted to do, that I wanted them to do, and that was have Ryan Gosling sing "I'm Just Ken," and it was probably about as spectacular as I thought it should be.
Nice.
You know, they went for it. They kind of understood the assignment, and that was nice. I think I signed off last show with going John Cena's naked walking across the stage.
Oh
That
yeah.
that was a cool little thing that they did. Um, it was the award for best costume design, and basically he walked out there with the card over his junk, and when it went to, and the nominees are, like 10 people rushed from backstage and put him in a dress real quick, and then he was like, and the winner is. So it was a cool little effect. John Cena is a very good sport about things like that, so that was fun. But I guess kind of the highlight of the, I mean, I don't want to say the highlight of the show, but kind of the big takeaway was that Oppenheimer won everything.
Yeah.
Everything that it was nominated for, it won. Um, Best director, best picture, best actor. What else? Best supporting actor and Robert Downey's Jr.
Was he in that?
He was.
Oh, interesting. I did not watch Oppenheimer at all, so
I haven't either.
huh. That's crazy.
And won best editing, best cinematography. Uh, just a slew of things. I think another thing when we were getting out, when we got off last week, as we were signing off, again, on top of John saying, hey, John Cena's naked for some reason, I said the Boy and the Heron beat out Spider-Verse for best animated feature, which, judging by the comments online, everyone was kind of like, all right, cool. If Spider-Verse was going to lose to anybody, like Boy and the Heron was it. So
Interesting.
it seems to be a pretty good pick.
Okay.
The one kind of I don't want to say surprise, but the kind of like underdog, like yeah we did it type of moment was Godzilla -1 winning for best visual effects. The kind of fascinating thing about that is they won an Oscar for best visual effects, and their entire budget for that movie was $15 million,
Mm.
which is unheard of. I can guarantee you the Avengers spent $15 million, spent more than $15 million in CG and special effects alone in the last Avengers movie.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So
Way to go, big mama. Is the Godzilla a girl in this one? I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably.
I've been waiting for it to come to streaming because I've heard 100% good things about it, and I'm excited to see it. And I wasn't able to catch it in the theaters at the turn of the year, and that's really the only movie that I can think that I'm looking forward to seeing. Well, that and Boy and the Heron.
Yeah. I still really want to watch that. We never got around to seeing that one while it was in the theater. So,
Yep.
I'm sorry, your brother's right behind me, like practically sobbing and laughing so hard at just Boo. He just took a picture of Boo and then showed it to me. Anyways, Boo's
All
just
right.
being a good little boy.
So we talked a little bit before the show started, and I told you to absolutely wait until we got on air to talk about it. So I would like for you to kind of take the reins and let's talk about the video I sent you. And I want to get your initial reactions.
Yes. The video that you sent to your brother and me of your oldest child deciding to dub over one of the Fast and Furious movies, but in a very interesting way. Which Fast and Furious movie was she doing?
6.
6. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot going on in that, and it was honestly so funny to watch because it would just be quiet until she just decided that she was gonna be,
Get to the chopper.
talking characters. Uh, so this video is Alice just being like, I've never watched this movie, and I'm just gonna lip read and tell you guys what's going on. Apparently, Ludacris is getting cheated on by some dude named Bruno, and she does know some of the character names, which is very interesting that she's like, Dom, I'm getting cheated on. And he goes, what, Ludacris? But it's so quiet because she decides that she is not going to make any car noises. It's just your imagination of going, all that good jazzery. A for effort, absolutely. Very. Did she just decide to do this?
Okay, so.
Or did you bring up this and somehow?
I brought it up because the guys at work had the idea of they were like, okay, well, your kid is in theater and doing all this kind of, fun, creative stuff. Get her to write a script so we can redub over a Fast and Furious scene. So and I'm like, say less. This is my favorite kind of humor if it's done right.
Okay.
Redubbing something like there was a whole series of people redubbing over old kung fu flicks, and it was the funniest thing ever. And I cannot find it anymore because now the internet has put either you can do it really good or you can do it really bad. And I was like, you know what? Let's just see what Alice comes up with. And I said, write it. And I think it was Saturday morning. She was at her mom's house, and she goes, I'm going to do the thing. Who's this person? And sent me a picture of Vin Diesel. And I said, that's Vin Diesel, a.k.a. Dominic Toretto, a.k.a. Dom. She goes, cool. And then sends another picture of Tony Jaa when he's riding in the tank. And goes, who is this? And I was like, henchman number 1, played by Tony Jaa. And she goes, cool. And then, I don't know, like 20 minutes later, she sends me, she goes, it's uploading. Hold on a second. I was like, what do you mean it's uploading? Because I just wanted a script.
Just straight to it.
And she went in there and she told me from the get-go, I'm not going to watch it. Or I'm not going to watch it with the sound up. I'm going to read lips. And we'll just see how it goes. I was like, that's a dumb way to do things. Nope, killed it. In one. And that's what we got. So,
all right.
As soon as I saw it, I watched the first half of it. I stopped. That's when I texted you and said, are you home? And you said no, because we're out being normal adults and having fun.
We had literally just left and was like, maybe like 3 minutes away from our apartment. So I was like, dang it.
Should we go back? But it was definitely, it was awesome. And I told her, I was like, I'm putting a Nerd for No Reason tag on it. It's going up on YouTube. And she was like, okay. So now no take backsies.
Yeah, it was cracking me up. Just the way that she's talking in the mirror with her laptop in front of her.
Yep.
Good job, Alice. No notes.
No notes. Got it in one.
Very nice. Good for her.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, speaking of Fast and Furious, you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to get into this week's movie?
I guess.
Oh, you do not sound sure.
This movie, man. This movie.
This was my first time watching this movie too, so I'm.
Oh.
However you want to do, either I can go first or you can go first. I can let you ask the question.
Oh my gosh.
However you want to do it.
Mark, tell me what you thought about this movie for your first rundown.
I mean, it was good. It was all right. It was a very by the numbers action movie. It wasn't bad. There was a lot of good to it, but I don't think there was any point in it where I was like, oh man, I'm upset I'm watching this. There's some silly things like a la Fast and Furious, but at the same time, it didn't quite go too bonkers into like super Fast and Furious territory, like Seven, or a tank. It didn't have it didn't have someone jumping. There were those elements, but it was fine. It was fine. I'm not upset that I watched it. If it's on TV, I'll watch it again and be like, oh yeah, Jason Statham's cool, but it's not the spectacle that like Seven was. So, Raven, what did you think of Hobbs and Shaw?
Wait, what? Hold on. I watched the wrong thing. I watched 9.
You watched 9? Oh, I was so worried this was going to happen at some point. And it finally happened. It took the 63 episodes and it finally happened.
I totally forgot we were going to do Hobbs and Shaw. Shit.
Oh, holy shit.
You should have texted me and been like, hey. When you started talking about Jason Statham, I was like, I mean, his mom.
He was like, wait, Jason Statham wasn't in this. What do you mean Dom wasn't in this?
What was going on?
I was seriously about to ask. Oh, man, Raven.
God dang.
I have video cut up. I have video cut up right now waiting on audio from this podcast because there's one specific thing that I want to talk about in this movie. And I'm like, this is so great to me right now.
Oh, this is so
I've genuinely been worried about this for so long where it's like, oh man, is she going to watch this movie and not this movie? What was it? There was another movie like last year sometime that we watched, and I was like, and in my mind, I was thinking to myself, oh, hey, make sure that you watched the new version of this movie, not the old version. I can't remember what it was, or the old version, not the new version.
Oh no.
Oh, man. So do we dare call an audible and just sit here and just BS and just have us a good time because we haven't done that?
I mean, if you want to, we can.
Have you seen the new Jack Black, Tenacious D, Hit Me Baby One More Time?
I did see a small little clip of it, yeah.
How awesome is Jack Black, and is he still a national treasure?
What kind of a question is that? You know that man is a national treasure.
He is. He's so great. He's so great in the fact that at the same time during the premiere of Kung Fu Panda 4, which is apparently where they filmed the video for Hit Me Baby One More Time, some TikTokers or podcasts, I'm not sure, YouTubers, young multimedia internet stars called him over to the red carpet line and said, hey, can you sing a song with us? And he was like, sure. So they said, it wasn't Hit Me Baby One More Time. It was still believe. No, yep, is that? Nope. That's what it was.
Oh, I know.
What's the song? It was a Backstreet Boys song, I think,
Yeah.
or NSYNC or one of those. Um,
In my head, those are the same thing. I'm sorry.
yeah. Anyway, they said they teed him up to hit the big chorus line, and he did. He absolutely did. And it was I was like, man, you didn't have to do that. You don't have to be as welcoming to the fans as you are, but you are, and you are great.
Dude, he's such a cool guy. He seems like he'd be like the cool uncle that everyone's like, oh, is Uncle Jack gonna come over to the barbecue? You know it's not a good time unless Uncle Jack is here. Otherwise, it's super lame because our parents all suck. I'll have to watch the full video of it. I think I might have sent it to Chris because I like saw it probably like while I was about to start work, and then I was like, oh, I'll watch this later, and I do that stuff all the time where I'm like, hey, I'll watch this later, and I don't do it. Because my little hamster brain can't remember to go backwards on the little wheel and be like, hey, let's roll this little tape back.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I was gonna say it, but then I was like, ah. Thank you, Mark. I'm glad you understood. I know that there was like a big thing with the Always Sunny not podcast, but like show going on recently, and why am I blanking on his name? But like one of the main characters, like, hold on, give me a second. Doo-doo-doo. Oh yeah, Charlie Day was just being like super cool with like a bunch of people at like a bar, and was just like super talking to him, and everyone was just like, what is happening right now? I feel like he is also another cool uncle that everyone's just like, aw, Jack Black and Charlie Day, they're like the crew, you know? Have you ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I've seen clips.
It's a show that Chris really likes, and I've also watched.
I've seen clips of it, and it looks funny, but I also hear that like whenever you watch the episode proper, you really kind of get in the zone where you're like, these guys are just kind of assholes, and you're not rooting for them. You're just kind of, you kind of get in that mindset, and I don't know if I'm ready to kind of get in that kind of headspace.
That's fair. Honestly, they're like, I saw this one tweet, and I think I sent it to Chris. It was like, oh, here it is. They should invent a job that pays you to hang out and abuse substances. And then someone quote tweeted that with like the photo of the four main people. And it was too real. They're just like fucking around the whole time. And it's so funny because there's like one character you're just constantly like, dude, do you have a single brain cell that works in there? And then the rest of the cast just goes off on them. Like, it's a good show, honestly. It's something you can put in the background and you don't necessarily have to pay too much attention to, because it doesn't matter if you like lose focus for like a few minutes, you look back and you're like, I don't know what's going on, but it's still kind of fun to watch. It's one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you were the one that sent me this on Twitter, and we got to talk about it.
All right. Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why is the Red Ranger? Why is he living long enough to see himself become the villain?
I don't know. That's what Chris just said. He was like, Power Rangers made some people just like shitty for some reason. I don't know.
It's so weird that really all he had to do was just keep his mouth shut. That's it.
For those of you that are unaware, the Red Ranger Um, what was his name? Austin St. John is
Yes,
dropping a new clothing line that features quotes from warriors on the other side of history.
quote
Hitler will be,
unquote warriors.
quote unquote, Hitler will be featured, and his quote is, Hitler was a demon on steroids, but he had some pretty good one-liners.
So
Sure.
so here, oh man.
I don't even know
So
what to
if
say
you
to it.
find this on Twitter, the very first reaction is from the podcast where he said this, and it looks like it's the Jim Cummings podcast. And if you don't know who Jim Cummings is a the voiceover guy who is the voice of Winnie the Pooh, Darkwing Duck, all this other stuff. He's a legend in the industry. And he had Austin St. John on there. And as he is saying this stuff, he's just going, oh, okay. Oh, wow. Like, I think in his brain, he's just like, yep, shut up. Yep, just say what you got to say and get it over with, and then I will move on. But
Yeah.
I'm also thinking to myself that someone must really hate him in the editing bay because you could have cut that out. You absolutely could have cut out that one thing, and you chose not to. Um,
Hey, it's probably for the best to leave something like that in there so that people like understand, hey, this guy might be losing it a little bit. His touch of reality is just out the window. Dominic Toretto has somehow blasted out a window and took that little bit of sanity with him, and he, dove onto a car, and it's smashed. Yeah, saying stuff like that is pretty insane. And when it's like a public figure that people especially like looked up to at some point, and it was like, oh, this was like my favorite Power Ranger and stuff, then it just feels like so sad. It's like
yep.
how people like get the Harry Potter tattoos and now they're like, well, screw J.K. Rowling. So like, what am I gonna do? They get cover-ups, and then like people that you really looked up to in any form of media is like so hard to want to be like, should I get this permanently on my body at this point? Because at this point, anybody can just make you regret, a couple hundred, couple $1,000 of ink, something like that. I've been seeing a lot of that recently on my Twitter for whatever reason, is people just being like, hey, this person was a piece of shit. Now I gotta redirect this whole thing. Anyways,
Yeah, it's horrible. And meanwhile, out of like the original cast, um, Amy Jo Johnson just wrote a story for the Power Rangers comic, um, you know, and I haven't read it yet. It's on my to-do list. I will get to it. But I find her getting back into the fandom this way really kind of cool because for a while she kind of shunned, being a Power Ranger. Um, I think it was because that was such a popular thing, and everyone immediately associates her as the Pink Ranger. And she was kind of like, I've done other stuff, and to be fair, she has. But for a while, she wouldn't go to the conventions, or if she did, she would be like, okay, I'm only going to talk about Power Ranger stuff for like 15 minutes, and then the
yeah,
rest I want to promote my music album or whatever. And she really tried to break out of that shell, but I think now she's kind of embracing it, and which is, I think, the correct move for her. So I'm looking forward to reading her comic run that she just wrote and see how it turned out, because she seems really geeked about doing it. So I think when you're enthusiastic about stuff like that, then it really it really comes through.
yeah, true.
And then the original Black Ranger and original Blue Ranger, we talked about them coming back when they we did that Power Ranger special they did on Netflix, and we talked about that last year. You know,
Yeah.
so that was nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's see what else is going on, man.
I don't know. I feel like I really like goofed up that I'm
Uh,
just like, man, we both did two different movies.
but it's okay. It's okay, and I'm not upset. I genuinely just think that it's. I think it's funny.
It is kind of funny because I was just like, you started talking, and I was like, I'm sorry, you like this movie? Because I got some feelings about Fast and Furious 9 that I was just like, yo, I don't even know anymore.
Oh man, and I know. Oh, not nine's the magnets, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta rewatch it. Oh
God.
yeah. Nine's off the
Magnets in
rails.
space. It is. So, I'll be very excited whenever we get a chance to talk about it. And then I'm gonna have to like relook at my notes and be like, what does all this mean?
We pull every kind of metal out of everywhere except for fillings out of teeth.
Jeez. Can you imagine? Someone's face just plants
Just
into
rips
someone's
off.
like, no, absolutely not. I don't know. Is there anything else big going on?
Oh, let's see. Just to kind of like speed shot some stuff that I've kind of seen around
Go
the
for it.
Stranger Things news. I think Millie Bobby Brown was doing promotion for whatever new movie she's in, Damsel. I think it is on Netflix. She was doing promotion for that and was talking to an interviewer or podcast or something, and says that they still have like almost another year of filming on Stranger Things.
Interesting.
So even at um, even if they still have another year, we're looking at these kids being, oh man,
Dude,
um,
it's gonna be
I mean
so weird.
they're going to be like 23 playing sophomores in high school.
Well, I mean, what's new, but it's also like, you know, we did literally watch them go from like little babies to now it's like, hey, what's up? We've been driving and drinking and we do our own stuff now. Like they're all accomplished people at this point. That you're just like, what? But you're still supposed to be like itty bitty. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, she said they still have 9 more months of filming left on season 5, and there's probably at least going to be 6 months of post production. So at the
Yeah.
absolute earliest is probably going to be summer of 2025, maybe fall.
That's crazy.
But if I was going to release the final season of Stranger Things, it would absolutely be around Halloween time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like the best option that you can do for something like that. I don't know if you've watched The Bear, which is
I
that
have not, and I want
Hulu
to.
show. It is so good. They started um, filming for that again, and so people on my Twitter are super excited because I really like The Bear. The Bear is so good. I think you should watch it. I think you would really like it. I had quite a few friends when I was still back in Chattanooga that would be like, Raven, I really think you would like the show. And I was like, yeah, I'll get to it at some point. And then when I very first moved to Knoxville and I was waiting to move into my apartment, I literally like binged it 2 weeks. It was definitely less than 2 weeks because there was one day on like a Saturday or Sunday that I just like was laying on the couch all day just watching like the second season because it had just come out. And I was like, heck yeah. Oh, so good.
New Ghostbusters dropping next week.
Oh yeah. I saw the commercial for it.
I am actually
Uh,
really kind of stoked on this. It looks like we have a movie that we have a Ghostbusters movie that doesn't have a previous villain attached to it, and our cast that we loved so much in the last movie, they're all back. So I'm excited. I might have to make a special trip to the movie theater next week and see it. A friend of the show, Chris Garrett, is part of the local Ghostbusters contingent here around
whoop,
Middle Georgia, and he, I think he's trying to get something together. When Afterlife came out a couple years ago, they set something up, and him and some other Ghostbusters were standing at the theater with little proton packs on, passing out movie posters and things like that. So I need to touch base and see if they're doing that again, because that was super fun, and I want a poster.
yeah, dude, that sounds like a really good time. Um, did you see that they are leaking the cast for the Among Us movie?
Hold on, what now?
Yeah.
They're doing
A
an Among Us movie?
I don't know how it's going to work out. I guess it's probably going to be animated, but yeah, it is animated. Uh, actually, is it a series? Among Us series, animated series, uh, at CBS.
Okay. I just looked up
Ooh.
I just looked up on IMDb.
Oh, the 2020 movie?
The nope, it says 2023.
Okay.
Um all I have not looked at the cast yet, but it says season 1 episode 1. The title of the episode, Imposter Real Sussy Baka. I don't
What?
know what that means, but
No.
you know what? I might have to call Allison here and see if I can get a hold on. Let me shoot her a message, because I don't know what in the world Sussy Baka means, and I'm not sure if I want to know.
I don't either. Uh, that's fun. I saw that
Thank
Michael
you, man.
Cera is supposed to be the white one. Let's see who else. Oh, Yvette Nicole Brown is going to be the orange one.
Okay.
Ashley Johnson will be the purple one. Who is she? I don't know who she is. But Randall Park, is that the guy? He looks
Oh, I
like one
love
of the
Randall
guys.
Park.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's going to be the red one. And Elijah Wood is going to be the green one.
I love Elijah Wood too. He
I
seems
love
very
Elijah
Daniel
Wood.
Radcliffe in his post Lord of the Rings career, where he's just like, I don't really have to work. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do from here on out. Just whatever wild thing that just tickles my fancy.
Oh, yeah. No, the two of them absolutely love to just do anything
All right,
wild and out there at this point.
Alice is here. Alice, I need you to translate Gen Z/Gen Alpha slang for me. All right, are you ready? We were talking about the Among Us movie, where the cast
TV
has
show.
been. Is it a TV show?
It's going to be an animated series, is what it
Okay.
says.
Apparently, it's an animated series. So I pulled it up on IMDb, and apparently there was one. They did something last year. I don't know if it was online or what, but the first episode is all Gen Z slang, like the title of it. And I need you to. Are you ready? What does this mean? Can you say it out loud into the microphone?
Imposter, real, sussy fuck.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you say that louder, please? Unless it's vulgar, then don't say that ever again. How dare you?
Imposter, real, sussy baka.
Okay, what does imposter real sussy baka mean?
Explain.
So it's basically saying that there's an imposter, right? And the imposter is very sus. Sussy is long for sus, which is short for suspicious. And baka, I'm pretty sure that's from anime, if I'm not mistaken, and Gen Z just like kind of turned it into its own little thing. So they're basically saying that the imposter is a very suspicious person.
That's all?
Stupid.
Okay.
Fool, per se. A very suspicious fool.
Okay. There we have it.
Hate it.
I hate it too. Thank you, Alice. Ladies and gentlemen, Alice. Woo!
Applause. Clap, 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 clap.
We already did. We already talked about it. It's going to get put up on it's going to get put up on the Nerd for No Reason YouTube later. I'm not going to put the part. I'll cut out the part where you're in bed. No, that's the good part. That sets it up. Thank you. All right. All right. Are you ready to move on to my favorite part of the episode? My favorite part of the week?
So I guess so.
All right.
After that conversation.
My favorite part of every week on this show is where we get a chance to talk about the little things in life. Maybe some little, some big, but we talk about the things that made us happy throughout the week, the things that brought us joy. Raven, please tell me what has made you happy this week.
You know, I had to think about this deep and hard because what have I been doing this week other than just struggling along with this lovely time change that has absolutely destroyed my sleep schedule this week. And I was really hoping that this weekend I could get it back on track, but didn't work out too well. I just had like a whole bunch of new clients this week, which was fun. There was one day that I literally had like 3 golden retrievers at 3 different houses. And I was like, this is a fun day, even though golden retrievers, while I love them, they are like top tier dog in my brain. They are like the biggest anxiety dogs when it comes to getting groomed. But I was still so happy because I just love golden retrievers. Yeah, it's just really been a very normal week. Like I really don't have anything bad that like happened this week, but I don't have anything that was like phenomenal. I've really just been like enjoying the boys and just the little things that they do and little, you know, Mudslide and Boo and Kavik, they just do silly little things that just make us laugh and we take photos of them. And that's really what's made me happy this week. It's just those goobers. Sorry, nothing exciting, nothing great.
No, I can appreciate that.
It's just one of those, we've got a lot coming up, so we've been just trying to hang out, chill out as much as we can, because once spring starts, we're going to be busy, busy, busy.
Yep.
Yeah. But how about you? What's made you happy this week?
Oh, man. A bunch of little things. I can't remember if I said this like once we quote unquote officially started recording, but I remember that I told you that I downloaded a music making program, FL Studio, and I've been sitting here just kind of just making some beats and trying to learn the program, which I've been trying to do for years off and on. And I kind of get in a little groove, and I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. I'm making some music, and it's just like a serotonin dump where I get in like a nice little groove, and I just kind of jam out to my own stuff. I'm just like, and then, then I call the kids in, and I'm like, kids, come in here and listen to this. And they listen to it, and now Amy's all hyped up on it. She's like, I want to make music, too. And I'm like, all right. Well, it's already on your laptop, so go ahead and go for it. So she made a little something, and it sounded like I don't even know. It sounded like dubstep. There's a particular term for this genre, and I can't remember what it's called, but basically it sounds like if you played dubstep and then put it in a metal trash can and then threw it down the stairs. Just like high pitched and all that. And
that sounds fun. That sounds like something that I would be like, oh yeah, we're gonna play this and blast it into the car, and Chris is gonna be like, you know what, I can take this for a little bit, but after a while, you've got to stop. You
And I
dumb
asked her, I
Gen
was like,
Z brain.
is this what it sounds like inside your brain? Because this seems like what it sounds like inside your brain. She's like, oh yeah. I was, okay, you go ahead and do that. So, and then I gave her some headphones, and she was off to the races.
Oh
So
god.
that was super fun. The video that Alice did, that really just put a dumb smile on my face. Today we took Sasha, my little psoriasis. We took her to Tractor Supply and gave her a bath in their little dog wash station, and that was fun because I learned a lot of things about my dog. One, the little air dryer thing, she's not scared. She wants to bite the air. So I could not hardly dry her because the whole time she was like, oh, hey, what's this? And
Classic.
yes, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So,
Oh, it's so fun.
yeah, I don't know. I cannot keep this dog calm because she has more energy than anything I've ever seen in my entire life. And that's saying something.
I was gonna say, you got Amy.
Right. Amy will eventually wear herself out. Sasha, on the other hand, I have yet to see the end of her energy. So, but I'm waiting for the weather to start warming up. I think we got just a mild chilly front coming through later this week, but I really want to get her to see if I can get her into that thing where like you throw the toy into the water and see how far they jump. I want to see if she can do that. And I don't know where I can like train her to do it.
Yeah.
I bet you, oh man, I just have faith that this dog would be great at it.
Dude, can you imagine if you tried to train her on the ones where it's like they run up the side of a wall type thing to get the ball? Have you seen those? Those are insane.
I have.
I see a lot of like German Shepherds do it. But
Yeah, German Shepherd and Belgians.
yeah. I feel like she could be good at it.
She could. I mean, just watching this dog just run full tilt across the yard. If I was to go out in the backyard right now and be like, come on, let's go, she would run. We have a climbing rope that we got Amy years ago. Hardly ever been used. Second we got Sasha, I hung it up there, and this dog, only when I'm out there, this dog will go out there and start playing with it. And just hang from it and just have the absolute time of her life. But I can be at one end of the yard, and I'll grab her by her collar and be like, okay, are you ready? Are you ready, Sasha? And I'll whisper in her and be like, okay, you're going to run over there and get that rope. All right, on your mark, get set, go. And let go, and this dog will, like a rocket, dude. That's all you hear, just them four little feet, just across the yard. Bam! Got that rope. Sling the other way, get down, and just front feet aren't even on the ground. She's just yanking and pulling, and just the best time. I
What a
love
good
that
girl. She's so silly.
idiot. So, all right, everybody. Well, make sure that you come and follow us on all of our social media. We are everywhere at Nerd for No Reason. Go hit us up on YouTube, man. We're doing big things over there. We're dropping videos every week. Every week that we do a podcast, we are dropping a video to go along with it. It is the episode of the podcast. We're building it up, man. We're building up this fan base, this fandom of us. Like them videos, comment on them videos, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, email us, nerdfornoreason@gmail.com, Twitter, nerdfornoreason, Instagram, nerdfornoreason, Blue Sky, nerdfornoreason, and you can find me personally at TurtlesDoIt on Twitter and Instagram. Raven, where can they find you?
You can find me on the Twitters at spooky_Raven or Instagram at That's So Raven Ellis. That's really the only places I hang out.
Word.
Word.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to us this week. I love you. Next week, I promise we're going to do Hobbs and Shaw or Fast 9. One of them.
No, we're gonna do Hobbs and Shaw. I'll be ready for it.
All right.
Hopefully.
So, until then, everybody, go and do something wonderful in the world.
You guys go and just the latest medias, and we'll see you again here next week at the Nerd for No Reason podcast. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Nerd for No Reason podcast. You can find us on all major social media platforms at Nerd for No Reason. Our podcast music is Memories in 8-Bit by Deanna Joan, aka Fergie's Human. You can follow her on Twitter at Deanna Joan Music and check out her other social media links in the show notes of our podcast.